Greetings, everyone. It's a lovely sunny day. I'm Josh Holten. You're looking at me with specs on, which is a bit of a weird sight for some of you, because I never really wear them on camera, because I don't really like wearing them. But I don't have to wear them all the time, so thank God. Today we are out, as said, in the lovely sunshine with Mr. Bruno, if you can see him. Little Bruno. We are on the Camel Trail today. Yes, we are exploring on the Camel Trail. I'm getting really OCD about this chain. Yes, we are exploring on the Camel Trail today. We are I'm going to guide you through the history of this lovely little place and the river Camel and everything else. So come with me as we go onto this lovely, lovely adventure across the Camel Trail. I can't wait. Join me. We are actually at our first stop, which is a plate layers hut, I believe. These huts, this one probably would have been built around the 1920s, 1900s probably. And this was a hut used for workers to lay the heavy tools, lay it all down here. And I believe, I don't know too much about these buildings. It's basically just upon, recent research. The bench in the middle is likely a place just for hikers to sit down. As you can see, it's very, very graffitied, so you might be able to see if I'm facing the camera the right way. It's also a very lovely little place to sit down and get some shade. It is unusually warm today, so. Now, the entire Camel Trail was actually a very long railway. As you can see along here, this is where my boot is. This is likely where the track would have gone along to. As you can see, that's why it's very clear. The train would have taken you probably to where the trail leads to today, which is Padstow, Wadebridge, anywhere like that where the Camel Trail leads today. Here's another little closer look at the plate layers huts. Yes, you can see it's a little bit run down now, isn't it? It probably won't last another century. I can't imagine it. And somebody's put a little sign there, all roads lead to Rome, if you can see it. Yeah, it's a hot spot for local graffiti. Whether you're a fan of graffiti or not. Such a beautiful day. Bruno, say hello. Today, the Camel Trail is one of Cornwall's most popular recreational routes. 18 miles of flat paved beauty. But long before the bikes and the picnics, the paths echoed with the roar of steam engines and the clatter of heavy industry. It all began in 1834. The Bodmin and Wadebridge Railway was one of the first in the world, built to carry sea sand from the coast to inland farms to improve the soil. The goal was to connect the harbour at Wadebridge to the heart of Bodmin, and the cargo was mainly granite, slate and agricultural lime. Back then the carriages were tiny, and the stations were often just gaps in a hedge. By the late 1800s, the line was absorbed by the London and South Western Railway. This connected remote Cornwall to the bright lights of London. Suddenly, fish caught in the morning at Padstow could be on a dinner plate in London by the next day, end quote. Passenger travel flourished, but as cars and trucks became common in the 20th century, the age of steam began to fade. The final passenger train pulled out of Wadebridge in 1967, and the freight lines finally went silent in 1983. Instead of letting the tracks rust away, a vision emerged. North Cornwall District Council and the Countryside Commission saw an opportunity to preserve the route for everyone. By 1989, the transformation was complete. The tracks were lifted, the path was levelled, and the Camel Trail was born. Today, the trail follows three distinct sections. Padstow to Wadebridge with coastal views and the famous estuary, Wadebridge to Bodmin with wooded valleys and river crossings, Bodmin to Wentford Bridge and a quiet moorland escape. Whether you're here for the history or just the ice cream at the end, you're literally walking or pedalling through nearly 200 years of Cornish heritage. Well, now what we see right here, which I forgot to record earlier, is the River Camel. As you can see right here, if I point the camera to it, because I can't turn the camera around it's the River Camel. As you can see right now, it's going quite fast. This churning, this fast racing churning river, it's actually intended to divert rainwater and stuff like that from flooding the main town. So if you remember last week from our little trip at Priory Park and the duck pond, you might have seen, like, you know, the lakes of water where the ducks are. There was an area that I didn't film where the old skate park is, and next to there's a lot of there's a bit of an estuary going around there, and this is one of the main points here of where the water goes from. It travels for miles, and I believe this water is eventually diverted back into the sea. Feel free to correct me on that. But yes, look at all of that. That is working 24/7 to move water from one area to another. And think about how fast and how quickly and how far that travels. I think I said fast and quickly, it's kind of the same thing. But think about how far that travels, that goes across the town. I mean, you know, where we were the other week is all the way at the other end of the town, and this is, you know, much further up than that. So it's incredible to think, isn't it? And these systems were built so long ago, and they're still in service today. I believe some of them are over 100 years old, and they're still being used today. So it's something else, isn't it? It's incredible. And we are now entering the very echoey tunnel. I'm worried I'll probably wake the dead walking under here. So before a zombie comes and gets me, let's actually walk over to our next spot. Dunmere Holt. Wouldn't you like to know about that? So this very echoey old little masterpiece was actually built in 1887, and until about 1967, I believe. I'm not going to quote the meme. Steam and diesel trains used to rumble through this bridge, and then when it closed back in the 60s, it was diverted into part of what is now today as Berwickham Road. Isn't it amazing how this is still up over 100 years later, and all the cars go across it, and you know, you've got big heavy lorries and stuff like that, and it's still going. Here's a closer look at the bridge. So it was actually built, commissioned by GWR, as said, back in the 1880s. And as I said, it's been there ever since. It's a very, very echoey tunnel. If you've got a loud voice like me and want hearing loss, it's somewhere to go, I must say. Now we are at our next stop, which is Dunmere Holt. And so now we're at Dunmere Holt. Now, what's very interesting about this place is that Dunmere Holt wasn't always the place that you see it today. It was actually a wharf used as a place to transport local goods. And what's really fascinating about this, back in 1834, so the early Victorian era, and what's really fascinating about this is that it actually had a female as the wharfinger, which is kind of a leader of this kind of thing, the big boss of the wharf, which was quite unusual for the time. It was used for that purpose for a long time. It was eventually converted into Dunmere Holt. I can't remember what year from my research. That it was eventually converted into Dunmere Holt. I believe the early, that's it, it was built, that's it. In 1906, it was built as another station, the Dunmere Holt. And as its busiest peak, it saw about 14 trains a day. And then at the same time that this bridge was closed off, oh, there's another van up there. As this bridge was closed off back in 1967, Dunmere Holt was. And in 1980, saw its last diesel train pass through until the council converted it into the Camel Trail that we see today, which is quite cool. Let me show you a bit of a closer look at the sign, which is still here. This is the iconic sign. It must have been painted over, because I feel like if this closed in the 60s, it wouldn't have looked this good today with all the rain we have in Cornwall. I need to get a picture of the dog down here, don't I? Oh look, someone's stuck a little sticker there of a king. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Isn't that lovely? Dunmere Holt. Thank you all so much for watching. For my Into Bodmin viewers, this is Step Into Bodmin. So yeah, a good reminder, step into Bodmin. There's so many good things to see and do along here. Bye.